Okay, the source code. Jake Gyllenhaal works for, well, works for a corporation that allows him to travel to a past event, but only for 8 minutes. Why 8 minutes sounds undeniably arbitrary. Well, when they actually describe what the source code is, when somebody dies, their brain essentially makes a map of the last 8 minutes. What the source code allows somebody to do is to plug somebody into that memory chain and essentially freely maneuver around it. Of course, they're not actually going backwards into the past, essentially they're going into a parallel universe. The end of this movie will make no sense unless you realize it is a parallel universe. You know, it's not like, you know, if you do something, it vastly alters the way the universe goes. Everything is running entirely in concert with each other. So Jake Gyllenhaal is trying to, one, find out what he is doing, because when he is transported through the source code, he becomes a different person. Not every time, just the first time. So initially, he has no idea what's going on, like most people would if you were to all of a sudden wake up and you're aboard a train talking with somebody who knows a lot about you and you have no idea what's going on. So the majority of this movie is him going back and forth on these 8-minute trips, as well as the idea of what is behind the source code. Side development is what actually happened to his actual character, who he actually is, and then him trying to stop the bombing. He's stopping this bomb on a commuter train because there's the potential of this being a first terrorist attack, of course, in Chicago, leading up to a second larger attack. So he needs to try to find out where the bomb is at. Stopping the bomb is entirely futile, because in that parallel universe, you know, all those people are supposed to die on the train. He is supposed to gather the information to help prevent the second larger attack. It probably sounds kind of confusing. It kind of is. Because it's him going back, reliving 8 minutes, which was not done in real time from the way it feels. I really wish they would have done kind of like Nick of Time, that movie with Johnny Depp from a long time ago, where, you know, if you do an 8-minute sequence, actually do it in 8 minutes. Do it from when he starts, 8 minutes the bomb goes off. You know, some sequences don't take a lot longer than others, but, you know, the train still essentially explodes. So he's trying to find out where the bomb is at, what the bomb looks like, who the person who activates the bomb is, you know, and if you can do those, where the larger attack is going to be at. And I'm glad I got it on Netflix. I didn't actually go to theater to see it. It's not bad. I mean, Jake Gyllenhaal, for the material he's got, does a really good job. There really aren't a lot in the way of twists and turns. I mean, once you pretty much know it's him going back in time in a parallel universe to try to fix things. And essentially all he's really doing is trying to gather information to take it back to the regular universe to help solve problems before they happen. It's kind of a bizarre sort of scenario. And then you find out what actually happened to, you know, his actual character. That's actually where probably the more meat of the story actually happens, and that's, you know, and actually that's actually the best part of the movie is that. Behind that is essentially it's a Groundhog 8 minutes on a train. I kept on hoping for him to go, you know, for things to be different every time, like for you to go back in time and be like, so what was it like that time? Man, I was a guy in a bubble, or I was stuck on the earth, you know, the day after tomorrow, or maybe, you know, man, Tobey Maguire was my brother and he was really upset because of what happened in Iraq. Or maybe that he was a gay cowboy. So, source code, it's a pretty solid movie for Jake Gyllenhaal. If you go in there knowing that it's an 8-minute time span that he's going back to and why he's going back to it, it's really technically not time travel. He's actually going to an alternate universe which was based upon the memories of a guy who died in the train explosion.